make sure the wires are going in like this. Doesn't matter which way. Alright, so today we're going to be putting in some low voltage lighting. And it's a client of mine that we've already worked in putting some lights in. But so we're just going to add a few more. One thing about the low voltage system, and especially now, like, we have this these LED lights, and the LED lights, they're just so much better. You can the lighting is just as good as regular 120, and the bulbs last for a long time, way longer than the old stuff, and you get a whole lot more from your transformer. You don't need to have a whole lot like you used to, like you can go a long ways with just 100 watts output. So a lot better stuff now, and a lot more energy efficient too. So I'm putting out together right now this spotlight, and we kind of anticipated there was going to be more lights installed, so we have some cable right here. We're just going to tie in real quickly to that, and so I'm just putting this guy together. It's like this, and this right here actually is a stake. It's a little different, but it's still pretty nice. Real simple assembly. Let's see, so I'm gonna unscrew this a little bit, take that off, and put the bulb in there. I'm wearing these, when you're, the one thing about the low voltage lighting is, you don't have to worry about getting shocked, but you do want to and with dealing with electricity, you always want to take certain precautions, but you won't get shocked. So, but just for safety purposes, you wear either these gloves or this. Okay, so this is the bulb right here, and the thing good about having the gloves too is that the oil in your hands will tend, it could hurt the bulb. So I mean, what I'm saying is, like, if your oils get on the bulb, and then when it starts getting hot, it could fracture it. So it's best to have gloves. And then when you're putting this on here, this is an important thing right here. See these little probes right here? It's got to go on just right. Don't try to force it in there. Just kind of go just a little bit of like that. And there you go. Okay. And then we'll put this guy back on here. So make sure this, the glass is right here. So, and then that guy on there. We'll just do a hand tie right now, and then we'll tighten it down with a screwdriver. This right here too. Alright, put this over in here. Like that. So this one. So let's see. Put one here. This is the end. This is the end part of the wiring here, and I always put like actually I'm probably gonna tape that a little bit, but I always put a wire nut, and we use silicone wire nuts. It's a weatherproof wire nut. And so the reason I do that is because if the wires, it's actually, let me just show you. See right here? It's kind of open like that. So it's going to be on the ground, getting wet. It will start corroding that. So I put this guy in here, and it's got that silicone in there. And that'll keep it from. I'm actually going to put some tape on that, but it'll actually keep it from corroding like that. Okay, so going back to this, these are clip-ons. So you see this little thing right here? So that's where it makes the connection. So that's going to go on the side of the wire, and then this is going to be on the opposite side, connected to inside the wire. So what that does is that pokes in the wire. It's a little tricky sometimes. You got to make sure you got both clips going on at the same time. So we do it like this instead. Okay. So both of these little clippy things, you got little holes right here, and it's got to be both in the same, both lined up on both sides. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me try that again. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna squeeze it. I'm gonna give it a little more of a squeeze with some channel locks. You don't want to do it too hard, but just snug enough. And you got to watch these little things on the side. So just squeeze a little in there. That's about that's pretty good right there. Before I go any further, I'm going to test the light, make sure it made a connection. So actually, this right here, this is how you adjust the light. So I'm just going to kind of put it up so I can see it a little bit better. Right here. Okay. Let me put it over here in the shade so you can see the light go on. And then we're going to turn the transformer on, and then we're going to make sure that's connecting right. Alright, so I'm going to tape this wire nut on there. We tested out the light, it's all good. I'm going to tape this on it, it's a little loose. This guy on there. Right. Take this guy back down here. This tape just to give it a little more support. Alright. Alright, so low voltage lighting said you don't need to bury it. You know, you don't need to have it in conduit. You don't need to bury so deep, I want to put it that way.
In this situation, we're just putting it right underneath the rock. This is right here. There's some glue back here. I'm going to cut it a little bit.
Like here. So I'm going to go ahead and just tighten this down to, that's pretty much the angle there. Alright, so that's all tidy there. And that about right there. Alright, so there we go. Okay, so we got this wire ends right here, and so we're gonna have to extend it to go further down, right where that little plant is. So I'm gonna show you how to do this. Look at the wire right here. Cut that a little bit right in the middle. Okay. Splice it up, kind of open it up like this. And splice that. I'm gonna get a little bit more than that. About like that. Okay. And what you don't want to do is not I'm going to have to correct this. You don't want to cut the wire. Sometimes it happens. You want to cut it so where you're cutting this, because there's strands, and you don't want to cut any of the strands off if you can help it. So you just got to be a little careful doing that. Okay, so that's a good cut right there. And just try, you know, try not to cut in too much. This wire cutter has a little deals right here, and you have the different gauges. So this is a 12 gauge we use. That's what we mostly use. I like it because sometimes we do, you know, long runs. This is kind of a long run. And basically, the bigger the wire, the less resistance, meaning that there's more voltage flow through it that you can get from it. It's kind of like a pipe, a water pipe. The bigger the pipe, the more water volume you get. It's the same thing. All right, so we'll take this off. We're gonna go quick. Do the same thing here. When you cut in the middle right here, it cuts pretty easy. Okay, so you're just really cutting the insulation, you know, the rubber stuff. So you're not cutting into the wire. Okay. Same thing I'll do right here. Take some of this wire off, or some of this insulation off, just like that. That was pretty easy. And then same thing over here. Okay, so the important thing to do here is always make sure the wires are going in like this. Doesn't matter which way, as long as you have one wire connected with the other, like that, around, and then Okay, so you got it. See, it's like one wire connected to the other. Okay, you just got to make sure you're doing that, because if you do it wrong, you're gonna trip. You might even mess up the transformer. So the important thing is never have the transformer on when you're doing this, and just make sure that your connection is like this. Okay. You don't want to be connecting two wires on one. This is always one on one, like that. Okay. And grab your wire nuts here. And I'm going to cut this just a little bit at the end so it's even. Talked about that in other videos. Make sure it's always even, because it makes it better connect, and the wire nut will tighten up pretty good. So like that, see? And just going like this. Screw it all the way in there. You want your wires to be in there, because that's the silicone is going to protect that. Okay, that. And okay, so again, we're just going to cut a little bit right here on the ends. Not too much, just a little bit to make it even. Okay. That on there like that. When you screw it in like that, you're going to feel when it stops moving, it's gotten tight. See? You always feel that resistance like that. That's tight now, okay? And then we'll leave like that. And what I like to do is, before I tape this up, I like to test it out first, so I don't go too many steps above, and then, you know, we got to come back and take all the tape off. So we'll stop right there, and we're going to go connect the lights, and then we'll test it, make sure it's working before we tape it up. All right, so I'm just going to adjust the light so you can see when it turns on when we test it. All right, so I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it right here for right now until we test it, and then we'll put it in its place. Put it where we're going to. Okay, so let me see again. Let's open up. We can open up this a little bit. There's no problem. Yeah, right there. This guy goes here. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Okay, all right. Let me get the channel locks. And should work right there. A little bit. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go test it real quick. I'm gonna turn on the transformer. All right, so we're gonna cut this little excess right here because the light's gonna end there. And we put this wire nut again. So we want to protect this wire, these wires right here, because once it goes down into the ground, it gets moisture and it can corrode. So we're going to put another wire nut in there. That. Get a little bit. Okay. Right. Okay. take these guys up. All right, so I'm making way for the cable. So we had to come in a little bit with the cable because of the position of the light, but you know, as much as you can, get the cable on the perimeter. There we go. Okay, so just wanted to show you a little trick here. See how long this wire is? It's not too long. We want to get the light over here, okay? And so this is not long enough, so I'm going to just show you what you can do, so that way you can connect to here without having to do anything drastic. Okay, so I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so this come about right here. Okay, right. That open up. Oh, shoot. It's fine. Fix that. Okay. Okay, that end part right. Okay, so we extended this, right? Now we're gonna go test it out. I am gonna put a little tape on this right now. I'm gonna take a chance on that because just make sure this is not, I'm not tugging it too much. If I put the tape on, it's gonna make it a lot more stronger. All right. Should be good enough. Okay. And all right. So we're gonna tap into this again. Channel locks quick. All right, I'm gonna turn the transformer on and we're gonna see that light turns on. All right, get this last one in there. So light's all good. We always try to make sure each light is working before we move on. I think that's an important step because you don't want to put it all together and all of a sudden, you know, you got to go back and fix it. But we're just adding, so it's not too bad. But when you start in the beginning, you start just putting in, first installing a low voltage system. You know, you want to go one step at a time. Make sure everything's working before you go on to the next step. So that's really important. Give it a little more. Oh, we got a little opening here anyway. Okay. Place. Go ahead and tuck that in there. That's we're finished with that. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Subscribe, share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.